Wonderful scoreline, a brilliant afternoon for City. They are right back in the sights of Arsenal, and well, Arsenal can feel it, the breath on their necks. The final score here at Selhurst Park: Palace 0, City 3. Well, let's go back to the studio and we can join Natalie.
Welcome back to Matchday Live. A big statement win from City today. They have beaten Crystal Palace 3-0 away from home on what many people said was a very tricky fixture. And I'm just calling that an absolute statement win today from the Blues. Welcome back to Matchday Live. Thank you so much for joining us. You can see the size of my grin right now. It's been a glorious couple of weeks. Still joined in the studio by Stephen McInerney and by Amos Murphy. You're a good luck charm, Amos. Your first show and they put that performance on. What did you make of it?
1 out of 1. Yeah, great win. I think, that first 30 minutes in the first half before City got that goal, it was a bit scrappy, but afterwards they just really controlled it, really professional. I think we're seeing this team grow into themselves as the season goes on. Obviously, lots of new players, but they'll take so much confidence from the last 2 matches, winning at Real Madrid and winning away to Palace. That was a tricky week on paper, but 2 wins from 2.
I think any of us would have absolutely snapped your hand off. 4 points maybe from the 2 of them, but 6. You're right, it's a phenomenal week. We talked at half-time, Stephen, about the going into the second half after that Real Madrid game feeling a bit more confident after having those slippy moments versus Leeds and versus Fulham. Now, I actually thought in that second half we were a lot better than we were in the first half.
Yeah, absolutely. Is what we were saying. Like, hopefully they'll be more composed on the break, and it turned out that we had a bit too much quality for them. And you could tell that they sort of tweaked a couple of things at half time just to compose themselves a little bit. And it was just a really intelligent, really mature performance from a team right now that collectively they know what they're doing. And there's a lot of quality there. And yeah, we won't go into the goals just yet because we'll talk about it in more detail. But to me, watching City versus Palace, you can tell the good side between the very good sides, the one that's got a little bit more magic up top. And that performance today is like, people are focusing a lot on City's deficiencies right now because obviously we're a team in relative transition compared to where we've come from. We conceded chances against teams like Palace a few years back anyway, so that is a great performance regardless of the season, regardless of the time of the year, regardless of the context, because they're such a good side and it was efficient, we worked hard, we scored great goals, and the pressure was on us after Arsenal got points last night as well. And
as you'd said in the pre-match show as well, they had the second best defence in the Premier League before today. They'd only conceded 12 goals before today, and we've gone to Selhurst Park and scored 3.
It's really impressive, really impressive. Like, I felt that, we kept a clean sheet, as well, against Palace, one of the most informed sides in the league, who could have been a size, fourth or fifth?
Started the day 5th, but started the weekend 4th.
Yeah, they'd have been in the Champions League spots, basically. And yeah, it's remarkably impressive. And once again, we have to remember, they come, from the Bernabeu midweek, and they played Sunderland before that, and lots of tough fixtures. Their legs will be running on empty, but the effort, the composure, it's really, really impressive.
Really, yeah. Couldn't agree more. Real statement victory, I feel like, from the Blues today. So in that second half, obviously City went in 1-0 up at half-time. Into the second half, the second goal was scored in the 69th minute by, of course, Phil Foden. And on-looking Thomas Tuchel in the stands, I have to say, was very happy to see him in the stands with such a brilliant performance from Phil Foden and from Nico O'Reilly. Indeed, he was tucking into a big bag of sweets, and I noticed he put them down to pay attention more to our Phil Foden. He's now scored 7 Premier League goals this season, 6 of those across the last 4 games. It was a brilliant ball as well from Rayan Cherki. We're big fans of him. And the finish, Stephen, from Phil Foden, it's just beautiful.
World-class things every week right now from Phil Foden. Like, he's probably the best finisher in the world football in that spot. Just outside the edge of the area. The variety of the finishes, be it rifling into the bottom corner from 20 yards, which you've seen him do over the years, curled it into the top corner, passed it into the far corner. This is another one across the keeper down to the right. Yeah, just a remarkable variation in his finishing, and he has this uncanny ability to affect the game regardless of the opposition right now, and it's so glorious to witness as a City fan, watching another City fan do that. And his link-up play once again, Cherki with the assist as well. I know it wasn't probably his greatest assist he'll ever do, but there's this natural link up between the two of them that's just, you can't really teach. Some players just are drawn to each other, and Cherki and Foden yet again involved in a goal together. I love it.
He's so dangerous in that area as well, just outside the 18-yard box.
Yeah, it's his trademark. You think of all of the best Phil Foden goals, it comes in that pocket where he's able to pick the ball. And with Ryan Shirky, you've got someone now that can find him in there and they can play the intricate passes, which is funny. You think to the summer, people, are they going to be able to coexist? Well, they're flourishing. They're absolutely flourishing. The goals are great. For me, actually, watching that second half, what I was most impressed with was him getting the foot on the ball, knowing when to speed it up, knowing when to slow it down. And that is something that in his game has definitely developed, I would say, in the last 12 months or so. He's understanding that tempo, that pause, that, okay, you don't need to be 100 miles an hour all the time. Yeah, a real, I keep saying it, I think he is maturing as a footballer, and it's a delight to watch.
Well, getting more clinical in front of goal.
Yeah.
I think this is my favourite incarnation of Phil Foden. I've been watching him since he was 15 years old for various teams, for a decade now. And right now he's mixing that brilliant attacking exuberance he's had since he was a teenager. But with the composure he's learned from Gundogan and David Silva over the years, but also the game-changing brilliance of Kevin De Bruyne. Like, he's such a wonderful...
He's had some good mentors,
an incredible amalgamation. Don't forget, he came on for his debut for Yaya Toure, so you can go further back if you want to. Yeah, but a wonderful amalgamation of players, but very Phil Foden at the same time. And there's bits of this here and that, and we forget he's only, 25 still? He's got so much more to offer City, and England, of course, over the coming years. But right now, this version of Phil Foden, I love him, as you're saying, getting the ball from Nico Rai down in his own defensive third, and then minutes later he'd be up in, outside Palace's penalty area in a big game away from home and scoring a world-class goal. It's just such a wonderful variety to his game. Like, even David Silva, the great David Silva, he wasn't as good a finisher as Phil Foden, and he's mixing a bit of his game to it. So
I think it's so lovely as well to see him so happy this year as well. Whatever happened last season, this year he looks so happy, and I just love to see that. So it was 2-0 at that point, and maybe I was a little bit nervous, maybe not, but City silenced all of our nerves with 5 minutes to go. It was a penalty for Erling Haaland. The penalty itself was won by Savinho. He'd come off the bench. I'm sure he doesn't want to be called a super sub, but certainly in the last couple of weeks his substitutions have been really impactful. He comes off the bench, he picks up the ball, a driving run, and it was a clear penalty, Amos. Yeah,
absolutely. I mean, he's got that positive intent, driving at the defenders, tempts the goalkeeper into making that challenge, and in that situation you're going to go down, of course you are. And we spoke at half-time, Palace will have to come out of their shell a little bit. Savinho's the guy, Savinho's the man, especially with no Doku, who can be direct, and I thought that was a really good positive change from Guardiola, because you look at it and, Reinders coming off, Savinho coming on. They're two contrasting players, but it is for moments like that, and I mean that's why he's sat in the dugout and we're doing this instead.
Although we did, you did say, both of you did say Savinho needs to come on in the second half at some point,
I think more than ever now in the Premier League, it's so physical, it's so aggressive, but I do think there's actually, you do lead into carriers, dribblers, particularly in the second half if you're winning, because there's always been a chance to counter, but I feel like it's there these days because teams are so structurally intent of moving you up the pitch, they're up the pitch too. And I think there's always spacing behind. We saw it against Madrid, we saw it against Sunderland, we saw it today against Palace. And Savinho is such a relentless runner. He's not had his best form this season, and maybe he's not been quite as effective in front of goal. He just hasn't been, unfortunately. But you can't deny that incredible pace he's got, and that he's run 60 yards there with a lot of desire to make something happen. And that's why Pep's obviously been putting him on, because he knows that that running power he's got will cause very tired legs who've chased Haaland and co around all game. It'll cause him problems, and I was really happy for him. He's had some cameos that haven't really hit, but the last week or two he's found a bit of form, and Pep was really, really praiseworthy as well after the Sunderland game, and he's had a good week, Savinho, and I'm buzzing for him.
Yeah, he won the penalty, and then the penalty was converted, of course it was, by Erling Haaland. So that was 2 goals for him today. I just read a stat, though. I imagine Erling Haaland's a bit angry, because you know what he's like. He doesn't like it when he's not getting chances to score. And that is the 16th time now that Pep substituted him on a brace.
He'll be knocking on the manager's door. Usually they do that because they're not playing enough. But he's, just a phenomenal goal scorer. Just incredible, the output that he gets. And first half doesn't really have a sniff until he gets that one goal, and then obviously converts the penalties, which that's 2 in a week. And he has spoken in the past that he does feel the nerves stepping up. The variables change. He can be instinctive in open play, but you slow it down, you put a ball 12 yards out, it does shift it a bit. But just what can't he do? Genuinely, what can't he do?
Oh, I love the man. Also, really interesting lately as well, we're seeing a slightly different Pep Guardiola, because we have played 12 players players that have started in the last 5 games. So the 11 today, plus of course Jeremy Doku. We've won them all. Pep Guardiola has stopped the roulette. Wow, it's nice to have a settled team, Amos.
Yeah, great news for fantasy players as well, because you know that they're going to be in the team. But yeah, I think as well, obviously it's a new squad, there are new players, and that does kind of lean into it, because you need the guys that you can lean on, especially, you look at that back line, what a unit they are. But also when you're getting results, why change it? Why upset that apple cart? So yeah, it's wonderful. The only issue there is if there is 1 or 2 injuries, obviously this period is very congested, maybe that sort of it upsets it a little bit, but right now, why would you change it?
Yeah, and unfortunately for some of the other players, that is since that defeat to Leverkusen, obviously, where there was a lot of rotation in the team. And since then, a very, very settled team. What a statement win. I am absolutely beaming. I'm so happy with that result and that performance today. We're going to go back over now to Selhurst Park, to FG and to Michael Brown.
Full time at Selhurst Park. Michael Brown here to dissect the action. We're going to pan the camera in a minute because we're in a very, very special spot. Here come our players, Brownie. A fantastic result for Manchester City. Aït-Nouri's on his way now to AFCON. Ryan Cherki was magnificent, as was Rico. Tajani Reinders as well. What did you make of that?
Yeah, big result, really professional. I was asking commentary about standouts. Was it Ryan Cherki, man of the match? It was about the collective, it was about the team yet again, performing together. Big result, look at the smiles on the staff. That tells you detail of these guys all get as well. And the big man just producing yet again.
He always finds a way, Erling Haaland, doesn't he? I mean, the header he scored, you see how much he enjoys playing football as well. And what about this man as well, our club captain, Bernardo Silva? Fantastic as always.
Yeah, he's aching a bit, isn't he? He's coming some ground, he's a little bit stiff there. These are the moments you don't get to see as they've gone away from the crowd. They start to relax, get their environment. We see a delight, don't we, on their faces. Really hard work got, and now, as you know,
and this man as well, look at this man, Savinho as well, earning a penalty. Donnarumma as well, digging deep as always. We had to dig deep in that moment. We have to talk about Phil Foden as well. That goal he scored was fantastic. He's about to come out now towards us. That's trademark Phil Foden, and he's been brilliant, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's been excellent. I think he's just been grabbed to do an interview there, actually, FG, down the tunnel. But,
and there's our manager, Mr. Pep Guardiola, as well, in Colo.
Amazing result for the staff.
Congratulations, well done.
It's a big one for the staff. And do you know what? They know this was a big game, and it was a little bit cagey. We talk about chances, not really sort of being clinical in the first half, and then from there on, really come to life, didn't we, with that header from Erling Haaland. Savinho's run right through the middle from his own half, right the way, and then got brought down. He probably deserved the goal, really.
How much confidence is that going to give to Savinho? We see him all the time. We're lucky to be behind the scenes quite a bit. He's always smiling, he's always happy. But I mean, it's fair to say it's been a difficult spell for him. But we've seen the last 2 games when he came off the bench in the Bernabeu, he looked really positive, and he was causing a lot of problems in an amazing stadium like that. And tonight he got a bit of luck with the drop, but the change of pace, Brownie.
It's like UFC, right through the middle, like flying all the way through the middle. But then he had that far to go, and I'm thinking, is he running out of speed? Is he running out of momentum? And he just tried to go around the goalkeeper. Henderson actually does well initially, that he slows him down, but then there's that contact on his right boot, and obviously the penalties there, they're giving him a bit of stick, these Crystal Palace supporters. Erling just stood there, goes, okay, no problem, if I miss, I miss, it's no worries. Drops it in the bottom corner and then calmly goes over with that smile as if to say, really, are you coming after me? Big mistake, and that was it, game done.
A massive result for Manchester City here. And Brownie, thank you very much for joining us. On to Brentford on Wednesday, so the fun doesn't stop. Time for some Carabao Cup action. We're going to head back to the studio. I'm guessing they're very, very happy, and rightly so. And congratulations as well on a debutant as well in the Matchday Live studio.
There you go. Congratulations, Amos.
I love that.
That was nice. Shout out, thank you very much there to FG and to Michael Brown. Go and get warm, get home safe, lads. Of course, to all of the Blues that travel down to Selhurst Park today. Get home safe. What an incredible day. Statement 3-0 victory against Crystal Palace. It's coming a day where there's been some really interesting other results in the Premier League as well. So Nottingham Forest have beaten Spurs 3-0. Sunderland have won in the Tyne-Wear derby against Newcastle. And Villa, this is the one that you're interested in, have come back to beat West Ham United 3-2. 2. So West Ham went 2-1 up, and then Villa came back to win 3-2. So in terms of the table, and obviously we know that Arsenal had that sneaky win yesterday. So in terms of the table, Villa just a point behind us. I mean, that's some comeback for Aston Villa there. And of course, there we are on 34 in second. Arsenal in first on 36. And now, guys, I told you my eyesight was awful. Is that Chelsea on 28?
Yes.
Yeah, in fourth.
So, yeah, on 4th. So, oh, good. They've put it on the massive screen behind me so I can actually see it. So there's now a 5-point gap opening between Arsenal, City and Villa, the top 3, and the rest of the table as well. I mean, at this point, Stephen, when you're looking at that gap, you've got to say that Aston Villa are part of this competition for the title.
I mean, look, traditionally, like a lot of sides, and I'll always revel this, United have just dropped off as one of the sides who would challenge. Spurs aren't there anymore. Liverpool are having a terrible season. There is a gap, basically, formed in Villa. Palace are occupying those spots. Villa right now, they've got the beauty of no one expects them to do anything. And when you've got that sort of no expectation whatsoever on them, they can just keep going and playing their wonderfully aggressive and also confident and their usual football. And there's not a lot of change there, really. They know who they are, they're effective, they're strong, and they are one of the teams that I would say have sort of sum up how football is these days in 2025, where everyone's strong, everyone's physical, everyone knows what they're doing. And I think they're a really good side that we have to take seriously, because they are capable of beating both City and Arsenal. Exactly. Yeah. There we go. Yeah. So, they'll be flying right now. And to be honest, I hope Villa do stay there. It makes it more exciting,
I've just googled when we get to play Villa at home. Do you know?
Is it
last game of the season?
It's the last game of the season.
Could you imagine?
It's been there before, haven't we?
Yeah.
Wow, I've just realised that.
We signed Gundogan back for the day.
So Arsenal play Villa at the end of this month. That'll be interesting for us, because that's the one that's twice. So we've got Sunderland twice.
Is that at home
the
for
twice
Arsenal?
One.
Yes, at the
Is
Emirates.
that at the Emirates?
Yeah.
That's at the Emirates. And of course, we still have to play Arsenal at home. That is towards the end of April. And then that Villa game, last game of the season.
Wow.
It's funny how the fixture. Hey, who knows what will happen between now and then? Another great stat for you today as well. I mean, another congratulations as the stats been created and broken all over the show. Today marks the 150th time that City have won a Premier League game while scoring 3+ goals under Pep.
Wow.
Like to score a few goals, don't we? We do. So I love that stat as well. Right, so the games are coming thick and fast at this time of year. It was Champions League, it was Premier League, and then on Wednesday it is the quarter-final of the Carabao Cup. I love the League Cup because, of course, it could be a nice early February, March Wembley trip for us again. So on Wednesday night, we face Brentford. It is at the Etihad Stadium. Kel will be in the studio alongside Luke Stanley and Stephen McInerney. I don't know if we got a discount because we booked you twice in a few days there, Stephen. But they'll be on air 6:25. You can join them. So in terms of the route to the quarterfinals, Brentford have beaten Bournemouth, Villa and Grimsby. Obviously, the giant killers, Grimsby. That was some result there for Brentford. Bournemouth, Villa and Grimsby to get this far, of course. We've already beaten Brentford in the Premier League this year as well. We know over the years that Pep's been a big fan of Brentford. Obviously, Thomas Frank was the manager. We know how much he respected them. They've had a change this year. They've had Keith Andrews. They've had a change in players. Quite a few, turnaround as always seems to happen at Brentford. So what sort of game are you expecting come Wednesday night, Amos?
I think Brentford will be looking to take that opportunity because they're probably going to be in that mid-table bracket for most of the season, not threatened by relegation, obviously probably not going to be challenging Europe. So this is a massive opportunity for them. The semi-final in the League Cup is on offer, and I can't imagine they've been there that often, if at all, before. So I think they'll sense that City have had a really taxing couple of matches, a couple of weeks. There will probably be rotation in terms of City starting 11. So I think they'll try and maybe capitalise on that. But you look at City's squad now, I actually think they're well suited for a run in this League Cup because there is that strength in depth that maybe over the last year or so hasn't been there.
Yeah, I'm fully expecting quite a lot of changes come Wednesday night, but obviously that means that we might get the opportunity to see some of our academy kids come through. Yeah,
and we've got to remember those players got there in the first place anyway, so Pep does tend to trust with the players that have got us far in competitions, and I'm expecting it. I think Pep, would be the first to admit, in terms of priorities, the Carabao Cup is probably lesser than the Champions League, FA Cup and so on. That's fine because there's a hierarchy with these things when you're a team as big as Manchester City, but that doesn't mean they don't want to win it, and it doesn't mean it is important for the likes of Kusanov and Ake and Marmouche, who I expect will all probably start, maybe James Trafford as well in goal. It's going to be a chance for some of these people to maybe wrong some what they will feel, fix some of the wrongs for the Leverkusen game, which was a real, a negative night for City. It was a painful, realisation of maybe some people need a bit more games and so on. But yeah, I think they'll have that in mind and they'll look to fix those mistakes. And I think Pep has to make changes because he's lent on these players a lot, and the lessons of last year will be, hanging over his head where players can get injured just like that. So yeah, we'll see a lot of changes.
Who would you rest on Wednesday night?
So Phil Foden's played a lot. Bernardo Silva's played a lot.
Erling, yeah.
Haaland's played a lot. I mean, this is the thing. You look at the starting 11 from the last 5 matches.
Ruben,
or so.
Josko.
Yeah, I think it is going to have to be a lot of changes. My fear, as we saw with the Leverkusen game, it doesn't matter who you're bringing in. If you make 11 changes, you're going to have a little bit of rustiness. So maybe we see, for example, Reinders could keep his spot. Players like that.
Shirky might as well.
Possibly, yeah. He's in that rhythm, isn't he? And you don't want to disrupt it.
Savino will get a start as well, I think.
Yeah, definitely. But the League Cup. I think back to Pep's first trophy win at City in 2017-18 season. That was the catalyst for what went after that. And I think with this new squad, new faces, it could be the same. Like you say, you winning a trophy in March, which is that could be great for the confidence of the squad. So I don't think it will be maybe as much as we think. Maybe 1 or 2 of the academy lads come in as well.
Yeah, I do think with all due respect, I can imagine people like Ilkay Gundogan when they were at City and De Bruyne, they'd won so many trophies that they probably weren't looking at the Carabao Cup fixtures at the start of the season. But for people like Marmouche and the new signings, Nico Gonzalez and so on, they want these trophies. They come to Manchester City to win. So this will be a massive chance for them to get a taste of success and a taste of success at Wembley, the most iconic stadium in European football. So I think City will be taking this very seriously because a lot of these young lads, they're just not used to winning the Premier Leagues and Champions Leagues and all that kind of stuff. So it's a big moment for them to hopefully get some silverware early on.
And I just was checking there when the final was. It is the 22nd of March, but it feels like a little bit later.
That is
They have knocked it back. It used to be Feb. They knocked it back.
I liked it in Feb.
Yeah, I like
the
it
Champions League, maybe. I don't know. But yeah, they knocked it back.
Football.
I don't like that.
There's so much football. Brentford, by the way, are the 4:30 kick-off today. They are playing Leeds. Looking at their lineup quickly for me, obviously Igor Thiago starts again today. 4th highest goal scorer in Europe currently. He's on 11 goals. He's come out of nowhere, eh?
Yeah,
doing well.
They've got a habit of replacing when they need to. Obviously, the manager as well. But just a couple of seasons ago, Ivan Toney and Burmo was there as well, and they're really good.
As well.
Yeah, absolutely. They're really good scouting department, and obviously they've become a staple of the Premier League.
Very much looking forward to that game already on Wednesday. Amos, thank you so much. Was
Pleasure.
it scary? Was it okay?
It was good. It was nice.
You'll come back?
Absolutely, if you'll have me.
And we'll feed you next time as well. We had now quickly before. Thank you very much, Stephen McInerney. So we'll see you again on Wednesday. But now to finish, what a delight! How lovely! Just to finish off what's been an incredible day. 6-1 win for the women. Congratulations to them, and then a 3-0 win for the men. 9 goals for City today. We are now going to hear from our right back, Mateus Nunes.
Mateus, congratulations today. A team who were 4th in the Premier League going into today's game, in form. So you must be delighted with a 3-0 win and a performance today.
I mean, of course, we knew it was going to be a difficult game. It's always very difficult to come here. But yeah, I think we did a very good job. We controlled the game. I think that's the most important thing. And yeah, now we have to look at the next game and prepare.
You must also be delighted to keep a clean sheet. Not easy coming here. Everyone stood up today.
I mean, yeah. I mean, it's lovely to always not concede a goal. Now as a defender, I feel like the defenders. So it's always very important, and yeah, hopefully we can carry on like this.
It seems also quite physical. A lot of crosses coming into the box, long throws, free kicks. So was that something you prepared for today?
I mean, I think now more often we find teams that are doing this, like even throw-ins, like when we played against Brentford, they put the ball in the box even from halfway line. So, I mean, I think we are prepared to any type of game. Of course, every week or every 3 days we have to prepare differently in certain parts of the game, but mostly when it comes to teams that play low block specifically, we know that they're going to put a lot of crosses in, so yeah, we're always prepared.
I also wanted to ask you about the right-hand side. You and Ryan have been playing. Cherky's been playing in front of you the last few games. It feels like you two are really developing a good relationship down that side.
I mean, whoever plays there, I mean, we have a lot of quality players, and Ryan is one of them. So I think players with quality can always connect with each other, and I think, whoever's played there, I'm just happy to play with them. And
just looking back over the last couple of weeks, 5 wins on the trot now. Wins at Real Madrid and Crystal Palace in this week. Feels like there must be a really good feeling in the dressing room.
I mean, we knew it would be very important to make a statement coming here, because we know it's tough and win. Because it doesn't matter if you win against Madrid and then you come here and you draw, and then you are too far behind of Arsenal. So I mean, yeah, we knew it was very important to win the 3 points here, and that's what we did.
Congratulations today, well done.
Thank you.
Brilliant.